start.
The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Sorry. Today it's Thursday. Good morning, Ed. Are you able to hear me? Good morning, Carol. Also.
Good morning, Pedro. How you doing this morning?
All right. I was just checking on Ed. I don't know. He's probably having some problems. I'm able to hear you, Ed. If you're able to hear me. But good morning, Carol. How's everything going today on this Thursday? Over there. I heard it's pretty chilly out there.
It's not too bad. It's actually about 65 degrees here in Dallas, Texas. So it's not too bad. It's supposed to warm up to about 80 today, but it's supposed to drop again tomorrow. So we're up and down seesaw throughout the weekend.
Okay. And honestly, I don't know if we do have an interest group tonight. I know yesterday we went into AI for beginners for those that joined us. Thank you. I know Carol was a participant also. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, and we went through different prompts. We went to different categories for shopping and some subcategories of shopping like clothing, grocery shopping, online shopping, and other things like that. So that was a great class, a lot of information. We got also into another part of that class. We got into prompting for documents and also gave examples on bad prompting so people can. So there you go, Ed. Welcome. Um, so welcome back, Ed.
Hey,
Yeah, so I was giving also prompts that are bad prompts and giving examples and pointing out the three, guess you could say, the guidelines on what is a bad prompt and what is a good prompt. So for those that join us, that was thank you for joining us. And after that, we did got into iPhone and got into some depth things. We got into the iOS and some other things like that. So Ed, what's our groups for today?
well, there's an empty spot. We don't have any for today, so
Okay,
uh,
okay.
there's an opportunity for anybody out there that may have an idea for an interest group. There's an empty spot in the calendar right here, where possibly you could come up with a group that of your interest and trust and believe you. If you're interested in, you're probably not the only one interested in it. So again, shoot us
Yeah,
an email, info@blindingdata.org, and let's talk about it. So,
yeah. So that was cool. We also got into in the iPhone class. We also got into questions about the ChatGPT application. So, and once again, if you're interested in that, what's that email again, Ed?
info@blindingdata.org.
There you go, guys. And you see, how's some technical issues on your end, Ed, today?
Well, I mean, just, sorry for the technical issues, folks, but bottom line, we don't realize that we have too much, we fill up all our storage until we
Yeah,
get ready
yeah.
to go live.
Right.
And then I had to go and remove some stuff out of the storage in order for Pedro to hit the button, but then I'm getting an echo, right? So I had to leave and come back in.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I'm here now, so uh, but uh, but other than that, no. I mean, again, 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 we got room for interest groups. So if you want to do something like that, again, come check out our interest groups. We got a lot of stuff going on. If you're not on the email list, again, info@blindunited.org. Just say add me to the list or something like that in the subject. I got you. If you got topics that you want us to talk about here on Coffee Time, you know what I'm saying? Coffee Time topics in the subject line, info@blindunited.org.
Well,
Basically anything, anything pertaining to Blind United, info@blindunited.org. Go ahead, Pedro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and coinciding with that, we do have a meta group coming up in the end of the month for those that are interested for the Meta AI for the glasses, the smartwear. But one of my questions is, Ed, did you check out what George was doing?
Yeah, I mean it's funny when he sent me the demo last night. I could not access the attachment, right?
Okay.
So when I got up this morning, I replied back to him, and then next thing I know, now I can access it.
What?
I
Mm.
don't know what's going on. There's a
But
lot of technical issues, but
yeah,
no,
but
it was very very cool the way he did that.
yeah,
Uh,
and what we talking about to our listeners to give more context of me what me and Ed are talking about. We're talking about live description with the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, a feature that's coming out soon that our colleague George has access to, and he sent us a demo, and that's what we're talking about live descriptions that these smart glasses are about to utilize, and it was pretty cool, right, Ed? What George was doing.
right. I mean, again, I mean, just a brief summary of his demo. It was basically what used the prompt. What was it? Turn on live description,
Correct.
and then it came on, and then he says, okay, what's in front of me? And he says, okay, you're looking down a hallway with doorways in a bathroom,
Mm.
and then he made his way into the bathroom. And says, okay, tell me where the toothbrush or the toothpaste is. And so it's on the counter. He said, well, it's to my right or my left. And so it's to your right. So he was literally interacting with the AI live. So I mean, he did a lot more stuff within it, but that's just a basic something of what he did. I mean, he found a remote sitting on the table. He found what was it, a Powerade or whatever it was, sitting on a
Mm-hmm.
counter.
The napkins.
Uh, yeah, the paper towel. They just told him where, and it directed him to all of this. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
uh,
awesome.
that's a great feature. Great
Mm.
feature. So again, I'm quite sure we'll be covering quite a bit of that within the AI Meta AI group, Meta Ray-Ban group. So
And you know what's
come
amazing about that, Ed and Pedro, is that these glasses were not really designed originally for us, but we're able to access so much with them in the blind community. Awesome.
right. I think their sales probably ended up being more blind folks buying it than
Then
content
visual
creators. I
people,
don't know.
I believe that too. I believe it
Yeah,
too.
you know,
yeah, I do believe it too. Well, now they got the solos for the ones that want to know the Solo Go Air uh smart wearable glasses. They also have the what is it, the Cloud Vision glasses too. And these are tailored for blind folks. They have their ups and downs. But with the Ray Bans, you're able to actually like even go live on your Insta, go live on your Facebook. If you have a business or if you're doing a cookie show, you could give the perspective of you. You could be cooking on your stove and be on a live cooking. So even being blind. these glasses do give you cues. This person jumped into your live, and it will tell you their name and the comment that gets posted, little things like that. Now
Right.
replying is a whole other thing, but I heard these other smart wearables are going to be recording video also, and
Well, I don't know about you, Pedro, but I don't want to have like 4 or 5 different glasses. So I just want one pair that's going to do everything I need to do.
Well, and
correct.
that's where I was getting ready to bring up the point that, you got to do your research. You got to find out, number one, what are the features of one versus the other one, right?
Right.
Number two, again, price point. Okay, what the glasses are going to cost you. Number two, is there a subscription involved?
Hmm.
So these are just things you need to take into consideration when you're out there shopping for some smart glasses. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, again, all of these that Pedro is mentioning right now, they come in way, way under the price point for like Envision glasses and the Orcam glasses and stuff like that. I mean, even what is that other one? The Apple Vision, whatever those were.
The Apple Vision Pros, but those are augmented reality. Those are whole different other products. Those are
Right, but they did originally, try to say that it was going to be, accessible for us.
in a way
Uh,
it is, but in a way it's not. Yeah, because it voiceover works on that.
right, but again, if it's not going to give me the descriptions and stuff that I need, then what good is it, right?
Right.
You know,
Yeah, because it's not that wearable is virtual reality more based than describing and looking in front of you. It's not looking at it like how you would tell these other smart wearables to do it. This has like augmented reality, meaning you could have your message app right there on your top left corner and stuff like that. And you could do hand signals to manipulate those applications and open them up. So it was different ball game than these smart wearables. That's what it is at a $3,000 price tag.
well, plus not only that, who wants to walk around with a pair of goggles on?
Yeah, yeah, that they do look like
Oh,
goggles.
they're ugly. Ugh.
So but again, thus far, have I tried all of any of these other ones Pedro mentioned? No, I haven't. But I am totally, totally, totally satisfied with my Meta Ray Bans, and for the price, you just can't beat them. So,
Hmm.
but
You can't. Um, Also, one thing that it did touch about that we should be mentioning, some of these smart devices that are that are tailored for us do come with a subscription. We have covered a vest, the smart mobility vest that is coming out. That one requires a subscription. I believe with the Echo Visions, there's a subscription to that also. The Solos, I don't believe there is a subscription, but if you're using like ChatGPT, you might want a little more functionality, well, not within the glasses, but more features within the AI that can help you. You might need a subscription to that AI. But Chap is free and has a good free um, model that you could choose from. So you're good, just to keep some things in mind, because when it comes to a subscription, it could get expensive for the mobility vest. I remember it was saying what, $25 a week
yeah,
equals to
$100
a
a
hundred,
month.
a hundred, a hundred and
100,
twenty-five.
depending on how many weeks in the month. Some months have
Mm-hmm.
5 weeks in it. So,
Yeah. $125. So
you
that's a
know,
lot of
so
money.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Glide that I purchased, it's got a subscription with it. But again, who
Yeah.
knows by the time my subscription runs out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Maybe I'm good enough at that point. Maybe the features because the subscription is more about keeping the AI itself updated, my understanding. But,
Mm-hmm.
again, I'll learn as I get it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, who knows? By the time the subscription runs out, because I actually have 15 months of a subscription that's already prepaid.
Oh
Mm.
Uh,
wow. Okay.
so we'll see where we're at in 15 months. Maybe I won't need a subscription anymore by then.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so
And I was pointing out about the subscription also to point out that the Meta AI in these glasses, there is no subscription to them.
well, that's
Um.
what I'm saying. That's why you got to do your research and know.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Which
again,
ones?
Yeah,
right?
and Meta has also made it open source, so people could go mess around with it. They could create to it and other things. So with the live description and the Be My Eyes operator feature on the glasses, they've been listening, and I think you're correct when you say that a lot of their sales must have been blind people, and they saw the potential.
And they're focusing their attention on trying to improve the features for our community.
Yeah, correct.
So
That's true.
but but
And but they do have other features. They have a feature. It's called Calm. You got to subscribe to them, but it's like a website that lets you like meditation, and you could do it through the glasses. I think with the AI and talk back and forth and go through a whole meditation session.
uh,
Also, so they got
okay,
things like that. So, but in that note, guys, we're gonna jump to a quick break, and we'll be back right at.
go ahead.
Do you need assistance with iOS? Or are you curious what iOS is? Perhaps you're seeking tips and tricks on how to use JAWS on your Windows machine? Or maybe you would like to participate in our popular support group led by Dominic? Or maybe join us for movie nights on Friday where we watch and discuss the movie of the night? For more information, please email us at info@blindunited.org. Once again, that's info@blindunited.org. You can also follow us on Facebook for real-time updates and community interactions. We look forward to connecting with you.
Do you need to talk? Are you struggling with your mental health? Are you struggling with substance abuse issues? Call the Orange County NAMI Warm Line. That number is 877-910-9276. That number again is 877-910-9276.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to jump into this first article. For those that, I'm sorry, today is going to be a bit political, but we just want to try to highlight some of the things that's going on. I mean, we always hear about with this first article, we're always hearing about, trickle down economics and all this other kind of madness and stuff like that, right? And then, the tax cuts that were put in back in 17, they were actually due to expire if they either the expiration date is getting ready to come up or whatever. But I know, of course, because they were implemented by the Trump administration in his first term, that of course he's going to renew these things. So anyway, let's listen to the article, and so you guys can understand what these tax cuts do to us.
Today on Coffee Time, do tax cuts for the wealthy hurt everyday workers? When tax cuts disproportionately favor the wealthy, What does that mean for the rest of us? While proponents argue that reducing taxes for high earners and corporations stimulates economic growth, critics highlight how these policies widen income inequality and threaten public services. Today, we're diving into how tax cuts for the wealthy impact everyday workers, from wages to public funding. Who really benefits from tax cuts? Tax cuts are often framed as a way to boost the economy, but research suggests that the wealthiest Americans receive the bulk of these benefits, leaving middle and lower-income workers with little to no gains. The 1% advantage, under policies like the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJ, the top 1% of earners received tax cuts averaging $61,090, while the bottom 60% of households saw less than $500 in tax relief. Wages stagnate while executives gain. Despite claims that corporate tax cuts would increase wages, studies show that business tax benefits primarily benefited executives and shareholders, with little impact on worker paychecks. The cost of tax cuts: fewer public services. When government revenue decreases due to tax cuts, public services often face budget shortfalls. This can mean cuts to healthcare and education, programs that benefit working families, such as Medicare, Medicaid, and public schools, may see reduced funding as policymakers look to offset deficits. Infrastructure declines. Investments in roads, bridges, and public transit could be put on hold, impacting workers who rely on these systems for daily commutes. Economic mobility stalls. As public funding decreases, access to resources like job training programs and affordable housing becomes more limited, widening the gap between the wealthy and working-class Americans. Does trickle-down economics work? Public services. The idea that tax cuts for the wealthy will trickle down to benefit all workers has been debated for decades. However, studies indicate that these tax policies fail to deliver broad economic benefits. Instead, they often worsen income inequality and increase deficits without generating meaningful wage growth for average workers. A growing divide. As tax policies continue to shape economic realities, the gap between the ultra-wealthy and everyday workers keeps growing. Without strategic reforms, the burden of these tax cuts may fall on the middle class and lower-income families in the form of reduced services and fewer economic opportunities. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
So before we jump into this, good morning, God first. She says good morning, as well as Katie. Say good morning. So good morning to both of you ladies. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Again, this theory about trickle-down economics has been a thing ever since the Reagan administration. And there was such a deficit created, when he did his Reaganomics thing, right? That, a little unknown fact, Ronald Reagan had to take $4 trillion from the Social Security Trust in order to cover the shortcomings that were created by the tax cuts that he did, right? So now we move forward. Now we got another tax cut, right? Again, anytime you cut taxes, especially when you're talking about the wealthy, that's a large portion of the revenue that comes in, to keep our country up and running, right? And how do they fix that, right? Well, of course, the rich folks, they don't care. They don't use social services. They don't use Medicare. They're never going to use Social Security. How often do they actually travel on highways and all this stuff, all this other kind of, using our infrastructure per se, right? They got their own thing going on, right? They flying around in their private jets, you know what I'm saying? And all this other kind of stuff, helicopters and all of, rich folk stuff, right? So the only way that they can try, and they're never able to do it, to balance the deficit is to start cutting services that the majority of Americans depend on, whether it's you know, SNAP services, Medicare, Medicaid, I mean, Section 8, you know, all of these things that help other folks. They cut that stuff, right? Because they need to find a way to make up that deficit, you know. So, again, don't buy into all of this, please. I mean, at this point, I mean, again, you know, we got to stay on top of our congressional reps. I mean, again, once, you know, I hate to say it this way, but, you know, once they realize that we start threatening them, that we, if they do not do the right thing, we're going to replace them at the next election, trust and believe they're going to get on board, you know, and they're going to start doing the right thing for the American people and start, you know, bowing, bending the knee to the, you know, wannabe anarchy. So,
Yeah, yeah, and that is true. You do hear the administration now saying they want to save money. They want to save money. They want to save money. But how giving the rich tax cut saving money? You're losing tax money right there, you know, from giving them tax cuts. I know they were talking about these tax cuts were going to expire. So there's tax cuts for the rich and the poor. If they vote to continue the rich tax cuts, they're gonna remain permanent. They said.
well, I
Uh,
mean, he has the opportunity to sign them into law at this point, you know, and that's really, really, really sad because it's going to take more to, you know, for
to abolish.
God willing, we have an opportunity to abolish, you know, in another
Mm-hmm.
administration, right?
Right.
But let's also take something else into consideration, folks. How many people do you know that work for, let's say, Walmart, McDonald's, you know, different big corporate chains that are not earning a living wage, right?
Right.
Because that corporation does not want to pay them a living wage, right? They don't want to pay them health cover, health care, and all that other kind of stuff. They don't provide medical coverage and all that other kind of stuff for them, right? So now, what are these folks forced to do? They have to go and get on Medicaid. They have to go get on SNAP, right? They have to do all of these other things, which the taxpayers are paying for. So again, now we're in essence we're subsidizing corporate America because they don't want to pay their workers a living wage. They don't want to provide the necessary benefits like health care and stuff like that to their workers. So who ends up footing the bill? The taxpayers.
Yeah, yeah, and I believe too. Making creating a income tax income cutoff, like a 50 billion dollars. Once a dollar more starts getting taxed 100% going to the government to fund Social Security, Medicare, and all that stuff. Why not? We don't
Well,
need
I
what's happening
mean,
right now in our Treasury Department to happen like that.
well, we're gonna get into that one in just a minute, but I mean, again, let's go here. People, every American, you know, well, I mean, I shouldn't say every American because we all pay into Medicare, Social Security, right?
Right.
Through our taxes, right? At FICA, okay? But the difference is those that make over, I think it's like not even 200,000 right now, close to $200,000 and above. They stop paying into that at that number. Okay, so now all the rest of us are paying into it. These folks are making, you know, half a million, a million, 10 million, $15 million a year, and they only pay Social Security, Medicare taxes on the first 200,000. Imagine if they were being taxed for Social Security and Medicare for every penny they make. We would not be in the situation for Medicare and Social Security.
Yeah, yeah, and there's been studies that's been in the public space talking about how people that are rich and wealthy, two three what was it, 2/3 of them are not satisfied with their wealth. They still would like more.
Right, they're
And
greedy.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's greed.
that points out the failure of trickle down economics. It basically is throw money at the wealthy. That's what that whole plan was right there. It was
Right. So I mean, so you satisfying them by giving them tax breaks, and selling us a bill of goods that okay, we're going to have trickle down economic, but bottom line, like you're stating, the trickle down part doesn't happen. Why? Because they're not satisfied with what they have. They want more. So why are they going to let any of it trickle down to us?
They
mm-hmm,
won't. And a lot of the things that they do, to receive money back. You're giving, say, 100,000 to the Boys and Girls Club, or you're contributing this or that. These are write-offs that they can still get money back on. But we're still the individuals that are suffering because they're not contributing to the programs that we need to continue these things on.
Well, how about this other one? Why should us, and I'm going to go more to a local level, and I remember this. I don't know if you remember, Pedro, but when Walmart wanted to get into Inglewood, right?
mm-hmm.
Number one, Walmart wanted a tax cut. They wanted, bonds to help build the store, all of this other kind of stuff. And
Oh
Inglewood
wow.
said, Inglewood says, no, we ain't doing all that. So what did Walmart do? They went to every surrounding city and they put a Walmart up so that, again, there was no Walmart in Inglewood, and there still isn't to this day. But they made it to where you didn't have to travel far to get one.
But look,
Mm,
you just pointed out something there, Ed. The number one company in the United States, the richest company, right? Coming to a city to ask for subsidies, for bonds. But when they got denied, they still had enough money to go put four other stores. And most likely they got subsidies from those cities. And it's a shame that
Yeah.
they're able to play this game.
oh
Why
yeah.
do we have to subsidize corporate America? They got the money. They got the money. They're just playing the little political game, you know what I'm saying, to keep more and more of, of the portion of the pie. You know, I mean, what's the average pie? Have six slices, eight? So I'd say six, right?
Right.
So they want to keep five to themselves and only give us one.
Yeah,
Like if
that
you
is.
Uh,
want me here, you're going to have to pay for me to stay here.
Right. No, you got to pay for me to come here.
Mm.
Hmm.
And
You
that's not
know,
right. That's not right.
I
I
remember back
remember.
in the day.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Pedro. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm showing my age again, right? So back in the day, when people were planning on opening up a new business in a certain area, right?
Mm.
Especially on the main boulevards, they had this device that they would chain to a telephone pole somewhere, right? And it, I know I'm really dating myself now. Back in the day when you used to drive into a gas station, you probably heard it in the movies or whatever. They drive over this little hose and you hear a little ding ding that
Bing,
lets you know
bing.
there's somebody
Mm-hmm.
out on the
Somebody out
pump,
there.
right?
Right.
So they had a device that was something like that, and they stretched that hose out across the street. Why? To monitor the traffic in that area. They were using the amount of traffic that went through that area to determine on whether they wanted to open up a business in that area. They weren't running out saying, oh well, we want to open a business over here, but the only way we can do it is if you foot half the bill.
Hmm.
They weren't doing stuff like that. But in today's world, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, we're dealing with that. Even with stadiums, you know, we subsidize a lot of these stadiums. We go to these stadiums to watch these events, and the taxpayers subsidizing these stadiums. So let's keep that in mind. And we go to these stadiums, and a hot dog and a soda comes up to $40 or $30. You know what I mean? We don't
Right.
even
Right.
get a discount right there. We get an upsell even there.
Right.
You
And you're
know?
paying more
Well,
taxes if you live around a stadium as well.
Yeah.
of course. I mean, and now let's go back to Inglewood, right? I'm not going to say that they didn't do a lot of subsidy stuff in order to build SoFi Stadium, right? But you know what the beautiful part about that is? Number one, Inglewood still owns it, okay?
Hmm.
And long after the Rams, Chargers, whoever decide to bounce, they still own that property, right? They can do
Hmm.
so much other stuff with that property. I was actually sad to see the horse track go away. Hollywood Park, baby. Man, that used to be my track. I'd run over there and bet play the ponies and all that kind of good stuff. But again, look at the Forum, okay, which is on the other end of the on the next main boulevard from SoFi.
Mhm.
Was it Dr. Jerry Buss? He built that thing. The
Hmm.
owner of the Lakers, right? When he built that, not only did he build the Forum, he built, I believe it's like three condominium, what do we call them, subdivisions
Mhm.
heading towards Crenshaw, going up Manchester right there. I mean, that was one of his things, rather than, signing bonuses for, people when he was signing them to come play for the team. He'd give them a condo, or one of them townhouses, whatever it was, right?
Hmm.
Now with SoFi in there, those townhomes are worth over $1 million each. You know what I'm saying? But again, Dr. Jerry Buss is gone. That land
Hmm.
has long been sold. I mean, even right now, I don't know exactly who owns the farm, but it's still creating revenue for the city of Inglewood.
Mhm.
So I mean, again, what is it? Walmart ain't doing a whole lot of creating revenue for any city. It's creating revenue for the Walton family.
Hmm.
And just so everybody understands, that's Walmart, Walgreens, and Sam's Club.
Yeah. Number
Oh,
one, number one corporation in the United States, and half or a little more than half of the workers are in some type of federal program that assist them with their aid, like food stamps, or that's the CalFresh program, or Cash Aid, that subsidize their workers, because Walmart does not pay a livable wage, does not give Medicare like they should, being number one company. And it's that time to cut to a break, Ed. You want to cut to a break?
yeah, go ahead. We'll move on to the next one.
Okay, let's roll.
Hustling jingles, $10 a shots. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford.
you can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, Custom Cane has it.
Right quick, George is listening in. He said good morning. He was glad that well, like right now, I think the only ones that had seen the demo, George, was me and Pedro, but I'll see what I can do about getting it out there today. And Tisha said good morning as well. So good morning, George and Tisha.
Good morning.
Anyway, this next one, Pedro kind of touched on it. We got a gentleman that has pretty much bought him a seat right next to the president. And I mean, this man was not elected. This man has not gone through any security background checks, none of this other stuff. And just to be clear, we're talking about Elon Musk. And right now, he is basically taking this supposed Doge thing that's supposed to be, help to cut costs and stuff within the government or whatever. And he has literally gone in and taken over the U.S. Treasury. So check this out and see what you think about this one.
Today on Coffee Time, Elon Musk's government experiment, a risky move for America? Elon Musk is no stranger to controversy. From launching rockets to taking over major social media platforms, his influence extends across industries. However, his latest move, placing young, inexperienced college students into high-level government positions, has raised serious concerns. Reports indicate that these individuals, some as young as 19, have been given access to federal agency operations and sensitive government data without experience, security clearance, or proper oversight. Even more troubling, Musk himself does not hold the government credentials or security clearance required for such involvement. This raises a critical question. Is the U.S. government allowing unqualified individuals to take on sensitive roles, and what are the risks? Inexperienced hands-on government controls. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, an initiative reportedly backed by Musk, has gained direct access to crucial federal operations. The individuals placed in this task force are far from seasoned professionals. Just months ago, they were college freshmen. Now, they are influencing national policies and reviewing work done by career government officials. One appointee, a 19-year-old college student, is reportedly reviewing financial reports and policies. Another, only 24 years old, has been issuing directives that impact federal agencies. None of these individuals have prior government experience or security clearances. For comparison, entry-level government security positions require rigorous background checks, sometimes lasting months or even years. Yet, these individuals have bypassed that process entirely. This begs the question, who is overseeing their work? Who is holding them accountable? Elon Musk, a man without clearance operating within the U.S. government? Elon Musk is not a government official. He has not undergone the same security clearance process that all federal employees and contractors must pass. Yet, through DOGE, he appears to have significant influence over government decisions and data access. Without formal vetting, Musk's involvement in classified operations could pose serious national security risks. Federal employees must undergo FBI background checks before handling sensitive government information. Musk has not. Government officials are bound by strict national security laws. Musk, without an official role, is not. Musk's business empire, including Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink, has major financial and political stakes. Could his government influence serve his private interests? Would the U.S. allow any other billionaire to insert themselves into government operations without proper security clearance? If not, then why is Elon Musk given this level of access? The risks of inexperienced leadership in government. The U.S. government is responsible for managing national security, financial regulations, and infrastructure that impacts millions of lives. Allowing unvetted individuals and a billionaire with no formal government experience to play key roles could lead to national security breaches. Without proper security measures, sensitive information could be mishandled or leaked. Financial mismanagement. Inexperienced decision-making could result in misallocated taxpayer dollars. Unaccountable leadership. If these individuals make costly mistakes, who takes responsibility? History has shown that poor oversight in government can lead to disaster. Are we setting ourselves up for a national security crisis by letting Musk and his recruits operate unchecked? Final thoughts. A dangerous precedent. This issue isn't just about Elon Musk, it's about who gets access to government power. If billionaires can install their own task forces within the U.S. government, what prevents others from bypassing democratic processes, national security measures, and accountability? America must decide, should government positions require experience, transparency, and clearance? Or are we willing to hand over critical operations to anyone with enough money and influence? What do you think? Could this set a dangerous precedent for the future of the U.S. government? Let's have this discussion and talk about the implications of unregulated influence in national decision-making. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their insights.
So before we jump into this, Tisha says she used to work at the Great Western Farm when, well, it wasn't even the Great Western back then. It was just a farm. She met when she was a teenager, and she worked for Jerry Buss and met him on several occasions, and he was a very nice gentleman. Everything I've ever heard about Dr. Buss, tells me that that's true. So, are we setting ourselves up? I almost think it's too late. I really do. I mean, how can someone that has not been elected use his, money, power, influence, whatever, weasel his way in to where he can walk right into a government agency such as the U.S. Treasury, right? And basically dismiss people that have 10, 20, 30, possibly 40 years on the job and replace them with somebody that just got out of high school? Come on, man. This don't make no sense. None at all.
A so-called brilliant man, a so-called genius. I think his marketing was really good to get people to think that. Um, him not being elected, and I feel that we passed that point. We already got to that he already bypassed our democratic system, our electoral system. Um, them having the trifecta, I don't know what to expect from Elon Musk. That's why I believe there needs to be a cap when it comes to how much money you have. I feel like a $50 billion income cap should be in place. Um, Look at the he's moving along to be the first ever trillionaire in the world.
Well,
So
money talks, and you know what walks. But I don't know anybody that could get a job without some form of experience, whether it's educational or just equivalency of just being in that particular field. And here it is, you got these teenagers just that you just pulled off the street to just run
I
in
mean,
an
and
undocumented type area. I don't get it.
not only that, they have access to every person in America's information.
yeah,
Scary.
yeah,
It's
They
scary.
and they have no. So there's been no background check on these folks.
Mm-mm.
correct. And also it's not like they came in one morning. They went in the middle of the night and
Wow.
demanded full access, and they made their way in forcefully. They were telling them, no, 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 and they made their way in. And when the I forgot the guy's name, but he was like, no, no, I'm not gonna do that. They fired him on the spot.
That's
You know,
crazy. That's like me running a corporation and then I bring in my homies, J Rock and Pookie, and say, hey, I need y'all to look over this stuff. And, I mean, that makes
that's
no
what's
sense.
But
yeah,
that's pretty much exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's going on with all of our information. Again, Treasury understand that's not, just, folks that's on public assistance or whatever. No, this is, what, no, well, we're not going to give you a tax refund. That all comes from Treasury, right?
yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
also,
All these other things that they just literally have taken control of. Now they get to pick and choose who they want,
and
to
that's one of the things too, Ed, and one of the things that the corporations and these other millionaires and billionaires should be worried. This agency also covers government contracts. They have access to these contracts and can review, and the conflict of interest is there. He has multiple companies that he is the CEO of, and having access to these type of contracts and reviewing them. And then he wants a new contract. Let's say, for example, he wants a new contract. He comes in, he sees all these other contracts and see if now he has motive to be able to have knowledge to do the motive to manipulate the next upcoming contract that comes to his company. This is having full access and not having an oversight. And
this is way beyond what they call that insider training.
yeah,
Yes.
trading, yeah, that's beyond.
Yes.
Beyond insider training and
Mm-hmm.
trading. I mean, I'm sorry. They're basically the wealthy. They're just basically taking over the government. And something I want to point out as well. I mean, during the many trials that 47,
Hmm.
I don't even want to say his name,
Right.
has gone through, he could not get a reputable law firm to represent him, right?
Hmm.
Guess what? All of these Wall Street attorneys right now, they're defending these actions.
Mm.
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
They're there for the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Money, 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 guys. And the person that said money talks and BS walks was a
Mm-hmm.
rich person.
Yeah.
That's
Okay?
Yep, it
right.
was. Yeah,
That's
it
who it
was.
was, because it should be a different other way. Also, they already broke the precedent, meaning uh the door has been slid open for a later administration or later other billionaire to come in and do the same. Basically, they kicked in the door. They're saying, we're taking over. You get out of here. It doesn't matter. And I think, I don't want to go too in depth. I'm just saying it's a violation of our democratic institutions. Um, Going beyond that, middle of the night, having untrained people there, unqualified, uh, no background check. It's a violation of our basically, I say, our constitution and our democratic institutions. We shouldn't have somebody that has so much coin be like, I'm able to kick this door in and do what I want without having any blowback.
Right, right. And well, I mean, again, and they got it going on. They doing it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, we are pretty much right at the end of our time. So we have got a few minutes left, but I just want to say, folks, for those that don't really like these type of topics, I'm sorry. I apologize. But what are we to do? It's in our face every day. Ever since this man has taken office, he's done things that, in my opinion, are pushing folks, especially folks below the middle class, right, into homelessness. That's where we're going to end up. If he keeps doing what he's doing, if they all continue to have their way and wreak havoc on the government in the ways they're doing in the social programs that have been in place for, I mean, generations, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Decades upon decades upon decades. They doing away with this stuff. I mean, I seen a thing the other day. I can't remember if he's a senator or a congressman right now. Guess what he's doing, y'all? He's trying to go back and take the rights away from ladies.
Wow, see, that's insane. I think this type of behavior from the president sitting right now has opened up the door. The behavior of the billionaire class and the way how name calling and being rude to women and just putting them down on TV and being able to run and become president, it kind of shows, and makes I guess it puts it in other people's mind that makes it okay to go with things like that. Instead of progressing, they want to walk backwards. They want
Right.
to go back into the caveman days.
Well, again, make America great again. Okay. Again implies that at some point, in their opinion, America is great and it's not now,
Right.
which is the going back part, right?
Hmm.
I ain't trying to go back. I'm trying to go forward, right?
I
I'm
need
trying
my
to
flying
go,
car.
you know, I mean, I want to move forward in a country where, you know, like Dr. King used to say, every man is equal regardless of his skin tone or whatever, all of
Hmm.
these various things. It
Right.
should not matter. America is built on the backs of immigrants. Okay, so
Hmm.
I mean, why should that make somebody superior over somebody else? No, everybody that's coming here willing to put in the work, willing to, all of this kind of good stuff. They should all have equal rights across the board. Your skin tone, your lineage, whatever, what we call it. What do they call it? That a lot of legacy, like Yale and Princeton and all that stuff. A lot of these rich folks kids get in not because they're smart, because they have that legacy thing that allows them to get in. What is that if that's not an affirmative action, right? I mean, it's just, I don't see the difference in it, you know. So I mean, we got to put an end to all this kind of stuff. So,
Yeah,
but on that note, Pedro's got the music playing on the background.
I have a few
Tisha,
words too.
go ahead.
Yeah, like you were saying, Ed. Yeah, I want a country that everyone's created equal. I want a country that the average person can make it out, make their own business, and have my business not compete with a duopoly or a monopoly corporation and get shrunk down by corporate America. That dream is slowly dying, just like owning a house is slowly dying with the way they running this country, the way the billionaire class wants to make us a rental type of country. So slowly the American dreams are getting crushed. Owning your own business, and once you get your business, now you have to compete with these mega mega corporations. Sometimes it seems daunting, and sometimes it seems like we don't have people sometimes fighting for the average folk. That's all I
I,
gotta say.
I mean, they're taking the hope away from the American people. So, on that note, God first, Katie, Tisha, Brother George, everybody, I appreciate y'all for commenting. Again, as always, in closing, please like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification, whatever platform you're on, please do whatever's available there. It also helps for us to get our word out. Again, we're just trying to keep it real with you. I mean, a lot of the stuff we're discussing, it affects our community probably even more than mainstream society, right? because we're dependent on it a lot more than other folks. So, but on that note, we will see you on the next one. Uh, uh, Unfortunately, I got things to do tomorrow. I got a chapter meeting to do tomorrow. Pedro's got some stuff to do. So we'll be, I don't know, I think I'm going to replay a recording from earlier in the week for tomorrow for those that want to drop in and listen to it. If not, I'm sorry. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you live again next Monday. So everybody have a great day. Enjoy your Thursday.